You know one thing I've learned, and it's hard to get over? Is when you get something bad. You know, if you had some bad food, you always say, man, well, that food was bad. But you saw it and you was thinking you was craving for it. But when you actually ate it, you're like, man, that's not what I thought I was getting. It didn't taste like what I thought it was gonna taste like. And that's how this Diddy trial is going. Everybody hearing this testimony and they like, oh wow, Diddy done. Wow, this person said that about Diddy. Oh my God, he's done. There ain't nothing he can do. Diddy is finished. There ain't nothing they can do. And this is just off testimony to the government, which was bubblegum at best. I mean, I swear this is probably the most inept prosecution I've ever seen in my life. Today was the most explosive, because it's exposing everything. Today was exposing everything. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off of the scab and expose everything. Because in one hand, you got one side doing something. What the fuck are these people doing? What are you doing? I'm gonna ram this damn Tesla off the... What the fuck is wrong with these people? Good, ain't got time to play with you. No time to play with stupid people. Yeah. So day 17, it got hot. Got real hot today. So everybody is like shock and awe situation, right? So now because it's a shock and awe situation, nobody wants anything. They don't want to get into the specifics of the trial. So now all of a sudden, people are trying to change it up. Everybody wants a sidebar. Because they know their whole case is falling apart. Because once that witness got caught in a situation where there could be perjury, impeachment, all of it, it's all on the table now. This should have been a mistrial. This shouldn't even have gotten to this point. There's manufactured evidence. People lying. They got their civil cases going on, and they just want to pile on and lie and try to go get some money. Mia, her whole thing was, I want to get some money. She actually said that on the stand. Justice for her is getting some money. She said it on the stand. She's provided no evidence to any of the SA claims. None of them. All of these major things that she talked about, none of it has been Sabotage City. Every time they see me, it's a sabotage. Sabotage. Okay. They talking about I'm still frozen. Refresh your page. Okay. All right. We good now. We'll see for how long. Because it's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's why I waited. You see? That's why I waited. Mm-hmm. Now, here we go. No, today was very informative. We just wanted to make sure people got the right information because when you start looking at all the things in the particulars that they come with the sabotage like they doing now, they knocking people off live streams, they doing all kind of craziness because they know they're losing, you know. And you got witnesses sitting over here on the stand lying, and you sitting there knowing they lying, and you putting these people on the stand. The prosecution is doing an inept job of doing what they supposed to do. Absolutely. So we're gonna go through all of this, the whole trial, because they don't. I mean, the whole case today. Yes, sir. It's very essential. It's very essential because what people are doing is they're being misled by mainstream media. See, mainstream media isn't covering all this. Mainstream media is not saying the same thing the internet is saying. Why is that? Because they don't have an agenda. They telling it like it is from what's happening in that courtroom. And that's the only way Diddy is getting a fair shake. Well, in the beginning, that's the way they set it out to be. They want to make it look like you have no one supporting your channel. They want to look like they want to clip all the branches anytime you have any traction on your page. They can't stop what's God's plan. So, if y'all ready, then I'm ready. Now, here it is, day 17. Let's get straight to the facts. So before the jury come in, the judge says, I understand the press is doing their best, with the orders. They said, what about James, Texas? Comey, Maureen Comey, the AUSA says, I feel a need to personally read them before releasing them to the press. How about Saturday or Friday's exhibit? He said, don't kill yourself. Then she said, the reporters are not officers of the court, and they won't know what has to be reported. That's why I want to review them myself. I don't think there is a real constitutional issue here. So a letter was sent in by the Inner City Press from May 15th, talking about their application to cover the trial publicly. Shout out to the Inner City Press for what they do. They work, follow them on Twitter. They are definitely on top of it. And the judge said the type of information that Ms. Comey wants to redact is just a matter of timing. We're adjourned for the day and permit retraction? No, I reject that. The First Amendment does not require that. The government is making accommodations. And they said, well, we want a screenshot of Miss Ventura's communication with Miss Coram about Mrs. Bungalong being dangled off of the balcony. And the judge says, how does the balcony incident connect to the indictment? They say it shows Mr. Combs' violence and that Mrs. Ventura is aware it's a coercion. Right? Okay. So even the judge is starting to say, hey, your BS is starting to look like BS even to me, and I can't keep covering. So Shapiro says it should not be omitted. It is a backwards looking statement. So she's like, the screenshot was captured in September of 2016, shortly after the incident. It says, and Shapiro said, it doesn't say how Mrs. Ventura or Miss Ventura heard about it. Could have been from someone else. They said, bring in Miss Bungalong. And then the jury comes in, and then they say, well, we will have lunch coming in for you guys. We're going to take a short break. Miss Westmoreland. And so Miss Westmoreland goes up there and starts going back to work on it. They said, what is this a photo of? She says, drugs. Who sent this photo to you? Cassie? Yes. Now, DX1287, what's this? Some type of drugs. How many types? I can't tell. You're still doing drugs with Cassie on May 31st of 2016, right? Yes. Just before this, Mr. Combs threatened your life, right? Yes. You weren't scared to continue dealing with Cassie? I guess not. Okay, you said Mr. Combs groped your breast. Objection. They was like, rephrase and ask again. Okay, Mr. Tyrone said Mr. Combs groped your breast. True? Some of the things he wrote were not true. He said, you fired him and hired a new civil lawyers, and they drafted a lawsuit. You reviewed it? To the best of my abilities. Look at this document. Only for the parties here. Ma'am, isn't it true that your lawyers, Mr. Tyrone, alleged for the first time of SA, and you alone, you knew it was untrue? You began repeating it? Can you rephrase that? Mr. Tyrone alleged that Mr. Combs SA'd you, right? I can't speak for him. You speak for you. You kept repeating the lie about the grabbing of your breast. Can you restate that? Okay. You continued accusing Mr. Combs of SA, even though you knew it was not true. It was really hard to commit to the whole sentence. You knew SA was the only way you could sue. I don't recall. You... they said, they say, you say you were screaming. Are you aware of anyone else calling the police? And she says, I don't think so. And Westmoreland said, you didn't go to urgent care? She said, I didn't. She said, I didn't tell the chiropractor what happened. No. And they said, why not? I was scared. Okay, the girlfriend, what's her name? Are you guys okay? Can you guys still hear me? Are you guys there? Can you hear me? Okay, it's just frozen on my end. Okay, good. I'm gonna keep cooking. All right, I'm gonna keep cooking. She said, I didn't go to urgent care. They said, you didn't tell the chiropractor what happened? No. Why not? I was scared. And they said, okay, the girlfriend, what's her name? Sarah or Friday. Full name, please. I think it's Sarah Siddell. Something like that. It was a while ago. You got the government. She was Friday, and she wouldn't know anything. I'm not sure. On October 4th, 2016, didn't you attend Mr. Combs' concert? I don't remember the date, but yes, I went. They said, just ask Mrs. Moreland. May we read the text? They said, proceed. You read Banana and I'll read Cassidy, right? Okay. I don't know what I wrote. That's what she said. Ask Mrs. Ventura. That's what the lawyer's doing. Coolio, what time? Love you. Thank you for yesterday. You're asking Cassie if Puffy would like a sweatshirt 2 weeks after you alleged that he held you over a balcony. We were trying to be cool. Repeat that. We had the FaceTime call and we were trying to be cool. Isn't it true that you continue to see Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura because Mr. Combs did not cause you those injuries? Part of that statement is true, and part I can't agree with. You see your phone number on this, right? Yes. This October 15th, 2016, from Mr. Combs to you. Yes. Mr. Combs wrote, if you're going to do K with her, at least have her back. Do you remember receiving this? Yes. You mentioned the Bad Boy reunion tour. You started on it, but you didn't complete it. Maybe one or two. September 25th, 2016, the tour was in the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. True? I'm not aware. Not so sure on dates. He was on stage with Little Kim. I don't know. At the Harlem Salute to Achievement. Objection. Sidebar. So now she's saying that he was in New Jersey, out there in New York, and they had a sidebar, and the prosecution don't know this. Now they're sitting up there, they know. They just know that they just wanted to try to go in there and get all these salacious charges that lead to coercion, right? This is like amateur hour. So now they come right back, right? Because now they scrambling to try to come up with something. So now here it is, the whole new thing they finna try to cook up. They like the cook up boss. Now look at what they finna come up with now. They got the shake going now. Now we got to see what they come up with. Oh, absolutely. So after the sidebar, they come back with this. Well, the Trump International Hotel The stay of Frank Black included September 26 to 2016 in a room breakfast for 231. You see? Yes. You agree one person can't be in two places at the same time, right? Hard to say. You told the jurors Mr. Combs injured you in LA on September 26th of 2016, correct? May we have a sidebar? Judge said, yes, you may. They want another back-to-back sidebar. Because how do you, the prosecution, don't know that? Did you vet her story? The first thing you should know is to allocate where Mr. Combs it was or where he is when they said something happened on a certain date and time. You're the prosecution. This is the biggest trial. You got 5 of you damn lawyers up there, a 6-pack of white women all sitting there, all trying to prosecute this man and take him to jail. And you didn't know he was in another damn state on another coast with receipts clear as day. Oh, you didn't know now. Now this is news to you? You got your asses handed to y'all by this defense. Money well spent, because that is so obvious and very easy to disprove. He was on tour. Anybody on the internet can find that. And you got 5 of y'all there and none of y'all knew? Something don't smell right. It's foul. Now see, why your T's and tails ain't telling this? Teaser ain't telling this, is she? Like I said, they don't have the best of the best out here. They got these misfits because they like the optics. What jury is going to go against 5 white women? So after they come back from the sidebar, the government wants to go in here and try to redirect. Right. They asked her. They said, is it true that you have lied on this stand? That you have lied on this stand? And they was like, objection. So they said, re-ask your question. They said, a person can't be in LA and New York at the same time. Because they said, oh yeah, they were really frustrated with her because they said, Mr. Combs did not cause you the injuries in the photo provided with the metadata saying September 26, 2016. I can't agree with that. Well, a person can't be in LA and New York at the same time, right? My answer is the same. And they said, is it because you came in this court and you lied? You came in this courtroom and you lied. And they was like, well, we will strike that. It was an objection. And they was like, Judge, can we redirect? They want to come in there. Did you ever review the notes taken at your interview? No. Did you give Cassie permission to put your name in her complaint? No. After she filed, I hit her up to tell her of her mistakes. Tiffany wasn't there. When you filed your lawsuit, was it the report of the balcony the same or different from Cassie's? Different. Is what you said today your best recollection? Yes. The demand letter of your first lawyer, did you write them? No. The demand letter said that Mr. Combs squeezed your breast so hard you had bruises. Had you said that? No, ma'am. Do you demonstrate with your hand motions? Please do. He started at my armpit. Where were were they on your breast? Yes. Do you yourself know the exact date of the balcony incident? No. Why not? It was a while ago. Any doubt Mr. Combs held you over a balcony? No doubt. Nothing further. And they said, recross? They was like, yes, we're going to recross you. You ain't getting away. They said, in a follow-up interview with the government, you gave them pictures of your leg with metadata. True? I gave them pictures. When you sued Mr. Combs, you weren't rich. I was not. You saw this as a chance to make $10 million. True? The judge would review. She said, it means a lot to you to become a millionaire and soon, right? No, I am here for justice. Meaning money, nothing further. And the judge said, thank you. They said, thank you, Ms. Belong. Is there an exhibit? Publish it. They said, we order rule 106. Judge said, after the break, jurors, there will be food for you in there. So after she just got cooked and really cooked Cassie, because now her story is lined up with Cassie. Cassie has the same date and incidents. She said Cassie's whole lawsuit was wrong. And she saw him settle with Cassie. So she said, well, damn, I'm finna get some money too. Hold on, Cassie. But now it's like you and Cassie definitely been talking about the trial because all this case ended up in this trial. So if Cassie's story is wrong, your story is wrong. Guess so what? Somebody's going down. They going down. She contradicted herself and Diddy wasn't even in the state. Now they like, oh, we don't got the date right. Okay, the photos you sent in are time-stamped by metadata. So why was you going to concerts with them? What I believe happened is she got her ass whooped by somebody she owed money to for some drugs that she went to go buy them from. That's my opinion. So the judge is talking with the government. The judge said, what about these text message chains? And the government said, those are screenshot messages between Mrs. Ventura and Christina Corum. It is involved. Miss Ventura is saying that her phone was thrown off the balcony. Then Miss Bagongalon said the defense wants more in. And she said they want in Miss Corum's message that he says that didn't happen. But that's self-serving hearsay with no exception. And the judge said the alleged completing statement are not admissible. And they said, your client was looking at jurors. This is what the judge said. Your client was looking at jurors and nodding vigorously. This can't continue, or I will give a limiting instruction you won't like. Or the measure include barring your client from the courtroom. Do you understand? And they was like, yes. They took a break after he threatened to throw Diddy out. Diddy was like, dog, he fighting for his life. When he hear a win in court, like, yeah, I'm getting these losing these lying mother. Yeah, we getting them. So now that, y'all, because Diddy is feeling some exuberance in the court, you want to try to step down on him and put your foot on his neck. Y'all want to put y'all foot on his neck They want to put their foot on his neck to say, hey, we got you. So they come back, and the judge said, I could stay past 4. My sentencing been adjourned, so I could stay late. But Miss Shapiro, so she comes back, Alexandra Shapiro. She comes up and says, I have a meeting with lawyers in another matter. I want to be here for all of Jane, a key witness. And they said, okay, well, we'll end at 4. So AUSA said, the first stipulation, a seizure in Miami airport of Christina Corb's cell phone. These are true excerpts. They want to publish the exhibit. Text, Cassie dangles over ledge. Oh my God. Metadata shows September 30th of 2016. Bring witnesses on the stand. Enrique Santos. I have worked for SD New York prosecutor's office for 17 years. I've done 3,000 cell phone extractions. These are iPhones. Whose were they? Cassandra Ventura. One had a changed IMEI number. It had been repaired. If a user takes a screenshot, what is the metadata? Creation date, modified data. Where is it stored? This exhibit and another extraction. Yes. No further questions. The defense, they say some deleted messages remain, right? He said, yes. Then Tenny took over. You know Tenny, I told you she's the #1 in collecting evidence in the world. Any lawyer you want in collecting evidence and how it's collected and anything about evidence, you let Tenny go. So Tenny gets up there. Garagos. She goes, she just gets on the scene. September 30th is the capture date of the screenshot, correct? Yes. Thank you. That's all they want to know. So she make a note and she put it together. And they was like, thank you. They was like, next witness. Bring the person in. They said, first, some sealed exhibits under the pseudonym order, the actual exploits of 1503. They're going to call this person Jane. So Jane comes up. And they bring the witness in. And AUSA, please continue with the exhibits of what's going on with Jane. So Jane takes the stand, right? And starts describing her physical appearance. They said, where did you grow up? California. All right, California is what it is. So they say, your level of college, junior college, then modeling. With whom did you have a relationship from 2021 to 2024? She says, Sean Combs. They said, what did you call him? Baby, Ernie. They said, why Ernie? We did that. I was Bert, he was Ernie. Where did you meet him? On a girls' trip to Miami in 2020. He was dating my friend. He was really fun and nice. We went on a yacht party. And they said, and then she said, he gave me his cell phone number. Did you see drugs? Yes, that first night. One of my friends said that she wanted drugs, I guess. I don't want you to guess. Where did you go? The studio in 2-Star. A man pulled out some pink powder. My girlfriend was upset. She thought I was getting with Sean. So we left abruptly. The next day, she said, drinks by the pool, then movie night, and a theater in his residence. He texted me, I'd like to take you out. I replied that it felt complicated. Where were you living then? The East Coast. Did Mr. Combs contact you? Yes, he was flirtatious. He invited me to Miami. Read these texts. What did it say? He says, call me Ernie. Who was pursuing you? He was pursuing me, but I felt being considered to my girlfriend, but she got engaged and moved overseas. So I felt I could do this Sean thing, you know? Had she been seeing Sean and her fiance at the same time, was she seeing these two at the same time? Yes. I went to Miami in 2020. He got me a hotel room. Where did you have your first date? The hotel balcony. How long did you first date? 5 days. What did you tell him about your past? I dated someone he knew. Also, my child's father didn't get along with Sean. He said he didn't mind. How many children do you have? One. What did Sean say about his relationship? Only my friend. He said it wasn't a real relationship. What did you do? We made love a lot. We walked on the beach. Later we went on a proper first date, dressed up, a restaurant. I was head over heels. How did you stay in contact? Text. Did you travel with him? To Turk and Caicos. So, as you can see, this is heating up over here. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not finna do what 50 Cent did. Let me just say that right now. That I'm not gonna do what 50 Cent just did. That's all I'm gonna say about the situation. Okay? That's all I'm gonna tell you. But you gotta remember what I told y'all a long time ago. So she said, I'd never been to Turks. Who else went in February 2021? Christina Coram, the chef, the butler, and at one point a barber. How long did you stay? 9 days in Turks, 6 days in the Bahamas. Were you going to play a video? I took the video. They said, what do we see? The villa, the vibe. What did you tell Sean? That I was a single mother on social media. I call myself a content creator. What was your work? Advertising brands on my social media. What did he give you? A love bracelet. He said he'll give me money because he had taken me many days away. I really appreciated that. How much did he give you? 10,000. What drugs had you used before? Ecstasy twice in 2014 and 2015. You used it in Turks? Who suggested it? Sean, like 10 times in the pool. He gave me a pill, said it would be more fun. I was walking down the beach with him and I fell. I think I was screaming too. They put me in the shower. KK did. AUSA Comey, did you take another ecstasy pill? No, she asked. Yes, but a smaller dose. It made me feel relaxed, euphoric, sexual. It enhanced touch and sense. It made me feel more loving and flirtatious. What about coming down from ecstasy? It was like your mind was kind of readjusting. Coming down from a high, you're just tired. They said, in the Bahamas, did you continue taking drugs? Yes. Ecstasy. Sean gave it to me. And they said, well, how much did he wire you? 10,000. We started using the L word. He told me he was seeing multiple women. I was okay with it. Why? I liked him. Did you have a sense that you had an option of the monogamous relationship? No. Until when did you continue dating Sean? Until his arrest. Any breaks? The 2nd of October 2023 for 4 months. When did you get back together? February 2024. How public were you? It was private. They said, did you post anything about your feelings in a relationship on your social media? Only once. Where did you move? From the East Coast to LA, he gave me $6,000 for a moving trip in 2021. February to May, how often did you see him? Every other week. What did he give you? He was sweet. He would give me money here and there, cash, wires, both. How often did you use drugs? Every time I saw Sean. Ecstasy, Molly, cocaine, K, or ketamine, Molly, enhanced like ecstasy for sexual purposes. You know, horny, cocaine, it makes me feel alert. I didn't like K, the walls were closing in. In what context did Sean give you drugs? When we were having sex. What did you learn? So many things. How he liked to have like adult stuff playing in the background. He liked me in lingerie with high-end stripper shoes. I was put baby oil all over my body and his. What type of rooms? In his bedroom. How was it lit? He had the red light on. How did you feel? I loved him. I'm trying to figure out where they going with all this. On May of 2021, what happened? I remember that when I would watch the adult films, we would have a lot more fantasy conversations. Do you need a break, Jane? No. They said we would search things on the website. He wanted me to fantasize. And May of 2025 was there, right? Was there some objection to anything that you wanted to do? On May of 2021. Oh, I'm sorry. Where were you? Where were you watching the adult films? Mia, I had been awake for 15 hours or 24. What drugs? Ecstasy, Molly's. He said, I can make it happen. Why did you say okay? I thought I was playing into a fantasy. But when I came out of the bathroom, he was staring at his phone, really serious. He said, it can happen tonight. How did you react? I was like, tonight? Then, okay. Then we were in a hotel. I saw assistants setting up the room. The lights were already red. Do you remember which assistants? I don't. He said there was someone coming. He knows this guy. I was like super nervous, listening in. Who did you think the guy was? The fantasy guy. What did you think would start happening? Sexual things between me and the fantasy guy. He arrives and they are talking. It was a regular hotel room or a suite? A suite. What did you do? I said hello to everyone. I saw Don. Who is Don? One of the entertainers. Published the photo to the jury, not shown in the gallery, of course, for informational purposes. And they said, what's next? I was on the couch with my robe on. My legs was crossed. I was nervous. What happened next? Sean said to stand up. I did. And started to dance. I got my nerve up. What was Don wearing? His underwear. What was Sean doing? Touching himself. Was he jerking off? Yes. Was he talking? What was he saying? It was like, what was he saying? He's like being encouraging and sweet. I was ready to speed things up a bit. What do you mean? Like, get it done? So now she starts to sob a little bit. They said, what did he ask you for? A condom. What did Sean say? That these guys get tested all the time. They said later, did Don leave? Yes. Then Sean and I made love. The next day I went home. Any boat trips? A nice yacht day. How did you feel? I felt exhilarated. It was taboo. I had a good time with my partner. Did you think you'll do it again? No, or maybe a few times, something taboo. How did it change? It opened a Pandora's box. There was so much of it afterwards, too much of it. How often? All the time. I went along. Later, did you tell him you didn't want to do it? Yes. In writing or verbally. Both, many times. What did Sean tell you about your rent when you said you did not want to have sex with other men? That he'll give me 3 more months. How did you feel? Frustrated, obligated. Obligated to do what? And they was like, objection. They had a sidebar. The defense is like, come on now. This is getting ridiculous. They say between 2023 to the time of his arrest, did he pay your rent and make you feel obligated to have sex with other men? Yes. They say, what did you two call this night? Debaucheries or hotel nights. How often did you see him? Often. Every time you see him, did you have hotel nights? Yes, even though we spent a day or two together after. It felt like a hotel night. Who decides when? On short notice, I always had childcare ready. And they said, I was always put together. What do you mean? My hair, my nails, my tans. He wanted me beautiful. Did you go out with friends? Not after a trip in summer of 2022. He was dismissive. In the summer of 2021, yes, to France. I went to the south of France with my friends. He was angry in the notes. Who did he want you to, who did he want you to look like? What was the look he wanted? Straight hair, ponytail. When we had sex, he wanted me to between 2021 and the break of 2023. How much money did you make and how? Social media posts, but that went down because of my presence went down. I was focused on Sean. He would give me money here and there. How much at one time? $20,000. Did you tell him you wanted to make your own money? When OnlyFans got big, I told him I wanted to do it like one of my model friends. He gave me a little hesitance energy like, no. What is OnlyFans? Subscribe to models. I'll do nudity. But no sex acts? Right. But he didn't approve. Why did you feel you needed this approval? I felt like he was my boyfriend. Sealed exhibit. What is this? My lease. April 4th of 2023. How much was the rent each month? $10,000. Sean said, let's do a love contract. It was a flirty thing. He asked how much allowance did I want going forward. I said 15. He said 10. And they said 1,000? Yes, I wanted a beautiful home for balance. What's this? A wire transfer to pay your rent? Yes. Who got you plane tickets to fly to the hotel nights? His travel agent, Jess, or KK. Where were the hotel suites like? Red lights, sheets everywhere for excessive use of baby oil. How many bottles? Objection. They was like, sustained, okay? Please don't bring back baby oil in Astroglide. It was like, I don't know, 24 bottles or more. They is like this night that you keep talking about, this entire night that you're basically pushing that this something magical happened. And don't forget to hit the like button too, so that they don't come in here with this doggone sabotage anymore that they've been doing for 2 straight days. Now, she said this night they showed an exhibit, right? But they said, where was the hotel night? They was like, in my apartment. What did you wear during these hotel nights? Lingerie, heel stripper shoes. What would you and the other man do first? They was like, can you please rephrase the question? They was like, what would you greet? The entertainer. I was on drugs. Sean told me to touch myself. Then came the sex. Forgive me for asking, but oral or intercourse? Oral. Later I would be with Sean. Would you clean up after the ejaculation? No. How long were these hotel nights? 20 or 30 hours. Could we break here? And the jurors is like, and the judge say, we may stay later. Do not speak with each other to each other about the case. And they was like, all right. So the jurors gone, and the government was like, Jane's counsels want you to remind you that those in the gallery do not report any of the personal identifying info from the lawyer's screen. And they said, I might submit a letter about the SCIF in the document. So they said, okay, fine. So we'll end it at 4, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the docket later, about what's in the docket, us moving forward with the docket, the whole situation. So they said, okay, that's fine. Now, once that was done, they can't come back and say anything else now because the docket had already been filled. Mm-hmm. That's because once they went through that whole process and they're going to continue this whole docket and what's going on, the government has already been inserted with a letter. Because now Capricorn Clark's testimony, which came off as hearsay, and a lot of it by Mia, a lot of these people were making up things that never happened and trying to double down on things that never happened. So it's a lot of people asking questions. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely hit that like button up. 50 Cent made a statement about the case that was really surprising and shocking that I couldn't believe 50 Cent opened his mouth and actually said. Yeah, that's going to be on 50 Cent because 50 Cent made this a whole different a bowl of oats. He could be facing a legal situation. Am I taking on 50? That ain't going to be me. I ain't taking on 50. I'm saying he going to be facing some trouble. Not for me. He might have federal government trouble. Now, Oh no, you got to look at it from both sides of the coin. Because see, you go back to the previous testimony, they already had this witness even when they met with the government. By them, they thinking they got a victory because they keep saying, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. They can do it. I don't know. It's a lot of sabotage going on. Lots of it. Oh yeah. He said, I know he did it. So far, what we're hearing in this testimony from this Jane is Jane seems to be okay with everything until the fact that the money stopped and her rent stopped getting paid for. And now she's like, I don't want to do it no more. Well, then you're not gonna get money. I mean, this is what you was here for. All right, you were here for this reason and this reason only. This is the only reason you're here. Your friend was sleeping with Diddy, then you end up sleeping with Diddy. Then she tried to justify herself sleeping with Diddy. They don't care. That's the beautiful part about it, is that these people involved, they just don't care. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, a lot of people have noticed that. They've noticed that there have been plenty of other statements made, processes done that didn't make a lot of sense to people. Well, when you're in a progressional state, right, you're going to want the very best there is. Remember they said Sean was going to testify. They was bringing Sean up in here. Sean's going to say this, and Diddy's in trouble when Sean get here. Really? I didn't see Sean. Right? You didn't see any of this salaciousness that you talking about, right? Now, why Drake ain't here? Why y'all go get him? Because Drake is afraid to put himself on stand, on the trial. It all went downhill. They all want to go for the money. I mean, you think it's a kawinky dink? All of this stuff is happening at one time to Diddy? I mean, come on. Well, if you remember the year when all of this stuff was going on, they were coming after everybody. Yeah, they were coming after Neo. They were coming after, they was trying to grab anybody they can, and it was all Kendrick Lamar and Diddy news. And they were mad I knew all this information. They was, how this guy know everything? Y'all don't remember? And I made this video way in the beginning, and I had the thumbnail made, and it said what? Diddy's Asian exes could be his downfall. You remember that? I told y'all that, and I made this video. Now, because I knew where they were gonna go with all of this. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, money is the key. Money is the word. And we reported it step by step. Diddy having to sell his shares to revolt to his friend. So his buddy got all his shares in revolt while he's dealing with this, so revolt could be free of Diddy and free of prosecution. You see how that worked? Right. And then they brought in who? Cuba Gooding Jr. They was like, the feds interview. Will it help or hurt Diddy? We told y'all everything. They brought in Cuba to find out what he knew. But there's nothing he knew. Because that whole lawsuit is crap. That stuff that Rod put out, Lil Rod, bunch of lies. None of it is used in this trial, by the way. And 50, you might be in some trouble here. You better lawyer up. You better lawyer up. Mm. Mm-hmm. Everyone thought it was be in the best interest of all the parties involved. But it wasn't. Mm-mm. Not really. Because at the end of the day, well, you'll find out. No, man, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm actually good on that part, man. But straight like that, no, I don't. No, I don't see. I don't see any reason that they should continue it. I think Diddy has done enough to prove that this prosecution has a mess of a case. They didn't vet these people correctly, and talking about dates are mixed up and all of that. When you have evidence that's time stamped, there's no excuse for that as a prosecution. That's very sloppy, poor work, and that's just it, man. So, shouts out, yeah, shouts out to Kwame Brown, Buzz Life, 78 Sports TV, Too Raw for TV. Welcome to HDII TV, Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. Go to my Patreon, Carcino for Life. It's gonna be some very interesting things happening there. So we about. God bless. Deuces.